Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Ginger Gaming Mentors Tech. Before you should be seeing two Wii U Pro Controllers, one of them all black and one of them all white. Today we're going to do something very interesting. We're going to swap out all the buttons. When I've been playing the Wii U, especially in the dark, I noticed that the all white and the all black buttons on the all white and the all black controller making things really difficult to see, and I kind of wanted a contrast, you know. So I had an idea. It popped into my head. Well, hey, I got a black controller and I got a white controller, and they should technically be the same controllers. So why not take out all the buttons, swap them, and then I'll have a cool sort of yin-yang effect going on. It will definitely apply the contrast that I'm looking for, and I think they'll look really cool too. So first things first, we got to take them apart. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a Y 2.0 screwdriver. I got this out of a kit. I think it was one that came with the Nintendo Switch. And you're going to need a Phillips head 2.0 screwdriver. The Phillips head is for a few of the screws, mainly on the inside, but one right here on the battery cover. Not sure if you can see that. And you're going to want to take out the battery before you do any work on the unit. You definitely don't want to accidentally short the unit out because it's on. Underneath of the battery compartment, you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screw holes. These are all Y bits, so you're going to want to remove all 4 of those. Make sure I got the right screwdriver. Now, once you get inside of here, the shoulder buttons and a few of the other things are kind of just going to fall out. Like, there's really not much holding things in. I've taken these apart before for various reasons, clean them out, etc. I believe I replaced the battery on one. One of them was brand new. I can't tell you for certain whether these are legitimate controllers. Because I didn't buy these brand new from Nintendo. These were purchased after the fact, and there are a lot of counterfeit ones floating around on eBay. Some of them are very poor counterfeits, and some of them are very good counterfeits. All right, so once you have your screws out, this plate comes right off. Your 2 ZL buttons right here will pop right out. We're going to put those aside to use in the black controller. There's really nothing else in the bottom piece besides the ZL buttons. It's nothing. Now, on this piece is everything that you need. So you're going to need the Phillips head while you're inside of here, not the Y bit. And there's going to be 4 screws that you're interested in. This one here, this one right here, this one, and this one. These 2 screws right here hold down the joysticks. So you're going to take those off. And just like that, the joysticks should sort of fold out. All right. And these caps come off, they just pop right off. Sometimes they're stuck on there really good. It's got a little bit of so I glued that one down. There we go. Looks like it's just a little sticky. The other one like that? Yeah, I guess it is. All right. Next step is to remove the 2 screws here and here. And I've got the wrong screwdriver in my hand again. All right, and just like that, the entire circuit board comes out. There's really not much holding it down. And you can just kind of fold that back for the time being. There's a lot of little membranes all over the place. If you're in here and this is the first time you've worked on this unit in a while, you might want to clean them out. This is actually not the first time I've worked on this one in a while, so I'm going to forgo that. Alright, so next thing we got to do is we got to take out all of our buttons. So there's our R and L buttons. There's our A, B, X, Y. We're even going to do the little buttons too, the plus, the minus, home button, and the power button. Alright, so we're going to take this and leave it disassembled for right now, because we need to open up the other controller and get the other set of buttons. Alright, so let's get our Phillips head and remove the battery. I'm not going to switch out the battery compartment. I don't know, I like the back to be uniform. It's really the front that I'm interested in. I don't really care about the back. Alright, let's get that battery out of here. Now, if you've never used a Wii U Pro controller, the Wii U Pro controllers are actually very nice controllers. I'm going to keep the screws separate. I kind of wish I had 2 magnetic dishes. That way I can keep a count on them. And I don't accidentally lose any. Now, I will warn you guys that you need to be careful with the Y bit screws. It's a security bit. It's not really the greatest bit. The whole purpose of it is to keep you out. And they do strip very easily. So if you don't have the right bit, I would wait until you do have the right bit. Like I said, if you order like a Nintendo Switch Joy-Con kit or something like that, the Y bit that it comes with is actually the correct one for this. Alright, so now this one should just pop open, unless I missed a screw. Alright, and sometimes your joystick kind of gets stuck in the ZL triggers. Alright, everything's just falling out for us, because who needs to actually take anything out when all the buttons just magically implode on the way when you open it. Alright, so now we need to get our 4 screws out. Let's start with the joysticks. Alright, so there's our 2 black joysticks. We're going to go ahead and remove those and put the white on. Alright. And then before we put those back down, we need to get access to the buttons underneath. So take out those 2 screws we were talking about earlier. One is sort of hidden under the other joystick spot. It's a little annoying to get to. Alright. That whole circuit board comes out just like the other one. Take our little pads. And get all these back together. That one, yep. Alright, and this one goes here. And this one goes here. Little buttons, make sure we don't forget those. Definitely swap out the power button. Alright, so now we got our home button. Slide that into place. And our plus. Minus, and where's our white? There's our white Y button. Here's our white power button, and here's our white D-pad. Swap out D-pads. All right, so that's all the buttons. We need to make sure we get the pads in place. Mess that up. You can do this one of 2 ways. You can actually sort of sit the pads on the circuit board, or you can sort of place them in there. It's actually just remembering these clear ones are the ones that were in the white. These are the ones that were in the black one. Right. Since we're in here, we might as well do the bare minimum. Take a Q-tip and just sort of wipe off the contact pins. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Just a little bit of harmless alcohol. Just give it a nice rub down. And we'll go over it with the dry side as well. I'm not going to turn these on right away anyway. They've been sitting for a little while because I've been playing a lot of PC games, and they're not charged. So even after I put the battery back in, they're not going to come on just yet. So they should have plenty of time to dry. If there's any residual you know, alcohol or water sort of in there. All right. So we're going to go ahead and put down the joysticks first. And the circuit board. This one's going to be a pain in the butt, just simply because this joystick wire is just right in the way. Alright, let's turn it over just to make sure we didn't miss any buttons. Yeah, that looks real snazzy, doesn't it? Really nice. Alright. So now we got to get the R and L buttons in place. Shouldn't be too difficult. There's the... which way? Oh, okay. I'm holding it upside down, so I definitely need to place them a little bit differently. All right. Now, once you get these shoulder buttons in, you can sort of snugly sort of press these in. And they kind of stay. They're a little bit loose, but they do kind of like fit in there nice and snugly. And then the last thing we got to do is the white ZL and ZR buttons. ZR is this side. ZL is this side. All right. And we're going to very gently sort of push these two together, because what happens is these ZL and ZR buttons, they kind of slide forward. So we want to just kind of ease the trigger buttons into position, and the whole thing nicely clicks together. And oh, haha, we made a boo-boo. We didn't swap out the L and R buttons. All right, so let's grab the correct L and R buttons. Or rather, the incorrect ones, since we're swapping everything out. All right. Let's do that one more time with the correct buttons. It was such a nice, clean snap together too. It felt so sturdy. It was like, ooh la la. Okay, let's try this again. Come on, be nice to me. Be nice to me. Nice. All right, so now we just need to put all the screws back in. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I would advise that you apply a little bit of pressure as you're putting these back together. It doesn't quite have like clips or anything, so it helps when you're screwing the screws in, especially because you don't want to strip these Y bits. To just sort of apply that pressure so that the Y bits aren't having to bite and pull. It's more of just a, you're screwing it in and that's it. So I'm not sure if you guys know this, but the Wii U Pro Controller can be used in a variety of ways. There are little devices made by 8BitDo, which will allow you to utilize your Wii U Pro Controller on a variety of devices. The battery life on the Wii U Pro Controllers is amazing. I think it was something like 80 hours. There's also, I think, another one that's called like the NS Mayflash or something, and it allows you to pretty much use any controller on any device. You know, not to mention this is obviously the best controller for the Wii U, apart from the enormous gamepad, which the Wii U forces you to use quite a lot. It's actually one thing I was disappointed in when I originally got this controller, was that I really didn't like the fact that I spent money on something that the company was going to force me to not use. They're just going to be like, no, well, you know, actually, you got to use this controller, whether you want to or not. And I'm like, well, but I really would prefer to use this Pro controller. And they're like, no. I mean, I know you paid like $60 for that controller and all, but yeah, you can't use it unless you're second player. They're like, but it's a one-player game. Exactly. So you got to use the Wii U Pro gamepad. All right, so let's put the battery back in there. And good to go. One down. That's actually really nice and beautiful. All right. Let's grab the disassembled white unit. And let's start chunking parts in there. Alright, so first off, let's do our buttons. We got our B button. There's our home button. And this is what, the minus key? I think the minus goes over here actually, because it's upside down, right? Alright, this is the A. No A button. You're not getting away. Alright, we got our Y button. You know, it goes without saying, but don't lose these buttons. Probably would be bad. I mean, unless you like having no buttons. Alright, there's our D-pad. Got our power button. And that's it for our buttons underneath. Alright, so let's go ahead and put down our little jinx. Okay, we got the center one. And then our D-pad. And just like we did with the other one, let's go ahead and clean off the contacts. I mean, we're in here, we got it open. It ain't gonna hurt, nothing. They do actually look kind of dirty, if I'm being quite honest. We're gonna take another dry one here. Let's make sure we get everything. I do recommend using the highest percentage isopropyl alcohol that you can find. You know, 90% or higher. You can use the lower percentages, but you need a lot more time for drying. The reason why isopropyl alcohol is so used in the like electrical field is because alcohol is actually a desiccant, and a desiccant is basically something that dries out any substance it comes in contact with. And the reason for that is because when alcohol evaporates, it takes the moisture with it. And alcohol actually has a very low melting point, or rather, I guess, boiling point. Yeah. So it turns into vapor rather easily, which is why you shouldn't leave the top off of your alcohol container. Actually has kind of a cooling effect when it does it too, I believe. But that desiccation, the ability for the alcohol to remove the water from the place is what makes it so valuable with electronics, because even if it has water in it, which usually it does, because isopropyl, even if you get like 95% or 99%, still has a little bit of water in it. But that water will actually evaporate away. And on top of that, if there is actually any water already on the circuit board, your isopropyl alcohol will assist in removing that from the circuit board as well. Of course, you have to give it time to evaporate. It actually doesn't take that much time, to be honest, because the alcohol really does evaporate quite quickly. All right, so we have a little bit of a problem here. I'm not really sure why this is, but I believe this is our connect stick. It's kind of wobbly. So probably what we're going to have to do here is make sure this is fitting through the hole properly. It's probably not going to be the easiest, since we have to make sure that these little things don't fall out, while we're also making sure that thing goes through the hole, and it's probably going to be a big old mess. All right, got our L and R. Slide those in their little compartments. All right, where's the other side? Get our triggers in place. It's the L and the R. All right, we still need to take 2 black screws and screw down the circuit board. Let's get that. It seemed like it didn't go in there right. Strange. You will not taunt me a second time. Your mother smells of elderberries, and your father was a newt. All right. That in there. All right, let's see if we can get this to all line up properly without murderizing us. Slowly and gently. All right. Let's take our screwdriver. Kind of want to make sure you guys see this. Underneath of here, you can sort of make out the red pole. And you want to slide it in place and then click everything together. All right. So it could be because the buttons might be a slightly different size, but everything seems to be okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get this bad boy screwed together. All right, so you gotta switch back to your Y bit. Trying to get these nice and tight without horribly stripping the Y bits themselves. Probably don't want to take your controllers apart too many times. These Y bits are really just not made to be removed over and over again. I don't really know what to tell you about them. They're just, it's almost as if they're made to strip, which I know sounds kind of mean, but I guess Nintendo really doesn't want you working on their products. Not that these are Nintendo products. They very well could be knockoff Chinese Wii U Pro Controllers for all I know. But they work just fine, and I haven't had any issues with them. I tried my best to actually find out whether these were knockoffs or not, and I could not, for the life of me, tell. I mean, what I would need is pictures from somebody who legitimately purchased their Wii U Pro Controller, like, on launch, and, you know, knows for a fact that their Wii U Pro Controller is not a fake. Because some of the fakes out there are very, very convincing. And so for me to legitimately figure out whether one is fake or not, I would really need one that I know for certain is real, you know, to compare with. All right, so we're just about done here. No screws left over, no buttons left over, no membranes left over. What is this? All right, so let's get our two bad boy controllers here and make sure you guys can see them. Oh, it's pretty snazzy with the white buttons, right? Yeah, nice, nice. Side by side like that. Look at fancy. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like my content. I'm going to come out with some more stuff kind of like this. I got an NVIDIA Shield portable coming that's broken that I'm going to try and fix. And I'm going to play around with some other stuff too. Anyway, thanks for watching.